Good morning, everyone. I'm on my way into work today. You can hear the machinery in the background. And I'm not going to make this a long one. If you hear a little bit of congestion in my voice, then you're absolutely right. Got a little bit of allergy going on, and I'm getting over a head cold, but Spirit spoke to me. And I just felt that I just wanted to encourage you guys this morning, because some of you are sitting on exactly what you need for what you want and been wanting from Spirit, but you got somebody around you, be it a relative or be it so-called friend or girlfriend or husband or wife, for whatever reason, they're holding you back from getting what you want because of what they say or what they feel. They don't want to make those moves, and you ready to make them moves, and everything's in place. You got all the pieces. You got your money right. You got your time right. You got your position right. Everything is right, but that person, for some reason, is not ready to make that move, and you want to take them with you. Now, I've talked about this before, where you can't take everybody with you. Well, the moment is at hand. You've worked for this. This is the shining moment. This is time. Okay, a bus is getting ready to come. I'm going to wait for it to pass before I continue. Okay. All right. Okay, so it's on the way. You're finally at that moment where everything that you prayed for, you finally got what you want. You've got the money you need to get what you want. You've got the time to get what you want. You've been praying for it. It's right here. This is the moment for you to move on. And that person has been here and has known that you wanted it. It's time to move. And this person is just standing there. Ain't ready to pick up a stick or brick, start the car up, back the truck up, T-toe, whatever it is. Ain't ready to do nothing to get this thing going. Now, what do you think that is? First of all, there could be a couple of reasons why they're not doing this. Number one, they didn't think it was going to happen for you. That's usually the number one reason why. They didn't think it was going to happen for you. So they sat there and they waited all this time for this whole thing to go on in hopes that it wasn't going to happen for you. Why? Because they were jealous or scared that you were going to leave them behind. Or they were hoping that it was going to fail so you wouldn't go nowhere, because they wasn't going no damn where. But now the time has come and it's here, and they stuck there with the tail tucked between their legs and don't know what to say, in hopes that you won't do nothing. So they don't know what to do now. So you finally accomplished your goal because they were thinking that you wasn't going to do it. The second reason is they're jealous. They're jealous. Maybe they did know that you will accomplish your goal, and they weren't sure how you were going to handle it. So they're probably figuring, okay, well then they can go without me. Thinking that if they don't move, that you won't move. So what are you going to do? You have to keep moving. You have to take all these things into consideration once you pursue this thing. People are going to change their attitudes once you pursue any type of life-changing goals. That's what's going to happen. It's either going to be for the better or for the worse. It doesn't matter who it is. Once you decide to make a life-changing decision in your life, the people in your life are going to change their attitudes, whether it's for the better or for the worse. They're going to change their attitudes. If you choose to move somewhere, if you choose to change your job, if you choose to go back to school, if you choose to divorce your wife, if you choose to get married, the people in your life are going to change their attitudes, whether it's for the better or for the worse. Expect that. Be prepared for it. The attitudes are not going to be the same. So you're going to have to decide whether or not you want to make those moves. Okay? So the time has come. The goose has laid the golden egg. So if you've been rolling with me like a lot of you have been rolling with me on this channel. Of course, you know, you moving. Tito has backed up the truck. You know, you got the dollar, you moving stuff out the house or moving stuff out the building. You know, you got to get the truck back by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And this person sitting up there with their arms folded and their lip poked out, probably running their mouth. But in the meantime, you moving in and out. They still standing there. In the meantime, you moving stuff in and out. Place getting empty. Okay. A few hours later, because you got a couple friends to help you out. New friends, by the way, that you acquired during this process. Then right before you know it, the place is empty. And then you come back in and say, look, place is empty now. I gotta go. So if the lease is in your name, you tell them, hey, look, you know, I gotta turn these keys in, so. What you mean? Okay, well, you know what? The sheriff is going to put you out tomorrow because I got to turn these keys into the office right now. So what you going to do? I can't believe you move all this stuff out of here and da-da-da. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get my clothes. No, there ain't no clothes in the closet. Everything's been moved out of the bedroom. I'm telling you right now that we was moving because I was doing XYZ. You standing up here running your mouth. I told you this 6 months ago that I was going to move because of the XYZ, and I'm moving today, and you saw me moving. You were sitting up here running your mouth while I was moving this stuff, and I told you we was moving today, and you didn't want to move, but I told you we were going to do this. You didn't want to help me. You didn't want to do anything, and I told you this was what was going on, and you want to sit here to the last minute, to 11th hour, and run your mouth. I done brought the people in here. I got to get this truck back at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you want to tell me that you're going to go get some clothes out of a closet. Ain't nothing in the closet, everything in the truck. Let's go. I got to turn these keys into the office. It's 4:45. The office closed at 5 o'clock. Let's go. Well, okay. Be like later for this. Take them keys down to the office, drop them in, and let them know you got a squatter in the apartment. You got a squatter in the house. I'm gone. Leave them right there. You don't have time for nobody that ain't going to support you in what you're trying to do to improve your life to be hanging around. You got some people that won't say nothing while you're struggling to do better until the very last minute because they don't think that you're going to succeed. They will wait till the very last minute just to see you fail. And when you succeed, all of a sudden they got something to say. You don't have time. You got your money ready. You got your position ready. The opportunity is right now. You need people who are ready to move right now. You ain't got time for nobody sitting up there with their lip poked out and their hands folded and ready to run their mouth. You got to move now. And if they ain't ready to move with you, their ass got to stay right there. I don't care if they're your baby mama. You can go to court. You can arrange visitation. And let me digress from this point too, because I'm getting a little sick and tired of hearing these stories about you having arguments. Men, let's talk to the men, because I hear this from guys. Okay? You're always having these arguments with these baby mamas every time you go see the kids. You ain't got to have no arguments with no baby mamas about having kids, because speaking from experience, every time that my ex picked up my daughter, I never saw him. You know why? Because I had an intermediary. And let me tell you what an intermediary is. That's a relative that is assigned to pick up and deliver the child to the other parent. I ain't got to interact with them. Court assigned. And that was a relative. Okay? Until we got to a place where we could communicate. I ain't got to see you. It was usually my sister or my cousin or my father or a niece. They would take my child to my husband. And in turn, my husband would take the child to them. And then the child would bring them to me. So if you know you can't get along with the baby mama, why do you have to deal with the baby mama to deal with the child? You don't have to. Involve an intermediary, go to the court system, say, I do not get along with this baby mama, but I need to see my children. Please assign an intermediary. Get that relative who can tolerate the both of you, and say, look, I need to assign you to be the go-between between me and the baby mama, so that way there won't be an issue. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Sometime down the line, there's going to be a domestic dispute, and it's going to escalate. Then child social services is going to get involved, and that's going to be a whole nasty situation right there. And then one day, one of those arguments is going to escalate to the point where one of you is going to wind up in trouble. Then all of a sudden, you've got custody issues. And then you got once social services gets involved, believe me, it is hard to get them out your business. I didn't want that for my children at all. So I immediately assigned my relatives to get involved. I said, I don't want the state involved in none of my shit. None of it. Because I knew what my situation was with my ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend. I was not going to go back and forth with neither one of them. There was no potential of us getting back together. I didn't want neither one of them, and they didn't want me. And I knew they were going to move on. That's another thing. I knew they were going to move on. We weren't going to get married, so what was I going to care about what they did in their own spare time? And they shouldn't care about what I did in my own spare time. We weren't going to be together, so what did you care? And why should I care? Our only concern was the children. But we did not see eye to eye when it came to things in life, and I was not going to spend my time arguing in front of my children every single weekend when it was time for visitation. So I said I was going to go ahead and have a relative that was in the interest of the children act as the intermediary. Come pick up the child, take them over to his house. Pick the child up from his house and bring them over to me. And that lasted just long enough until things smoothed over with us. That's all you got to do. But this business, we're arguing with baby mama for 10, child 5 years old. 10 years old, still arguing with the baby mama. 15 years old, still arguing with the baby mama. 17 years old, still arguing with the baby mama. You know what that does? That gives the child the impression that that's how you're supposed to get along with people. And then when they get grown, they wind up getting involved in relationships, and they wind up doing the same shit. And then you get older, and then when they have problems, guess what they wind up doing? They come crying to you about the same shit you got involved in when they were younger. Why? Because they seen you do the same thing. But you older, you trying to relax and enjoy your retirement and everything else, but every 2 seconds they're knocking on your door with their problems. Same problems that you went through 30 years before. Why? Because they're repeating the same behaviors you showed them. Ask the court to assign an intermediary. That's all. Okay? But anyway, back to what I was saying. When you level up, you're going to have to get yourself a totally new group of people that you're going to have to deal with in some cases. There may be 1 or 2 people that you can take with you before you started this journey, regardless of what the journey is. 1 or 2 at the most. And it doesn't matter if it's family, it doesn't matter job or anything else. Because when it comes to loving money, people act funny. And with that being said, I'm going to shut this down. Y'all have a good day.